All right, we'll start a little early for the June 25th Parks and Rec meeting. Can I get a roll call?
Commissioner Huff,
Here.
Commissioner Brandt, absent. Commissioner Burke,
Here.
Chair Sheeple,
Present.
and Commissioner Testel is absent.
And can I get a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
Motion to approve the meetings for the last meeting.
And second,
One second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any citizen concerns or comments today? Anything up there? Okay, so let's get right into it. Concerts in the park. We got a first one tomorrow. I do want to update my attendance for that because I think July 10th, the next one is the only one that I will be in town for.
Okay.
So, and the last one I'll probably have to leave early because I have a flight in the morning, but I will be here. So,
Okay.
And to Ellen White, we should. I think tomorrow I'll get in touch with Rob and just find out if there's anything he needs. He was saying before that it's we usually in the past Parks and Rec has usually brought like a cooler with some things for the band and whoever's performing, like just something to drink
Mhm.
and some ice. So here we could do that as a courtesy.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll contact him and find out if there's any, like, he'll know better than me.
No.
Probably just water. I think that's what it's been in the past. Anything else? Are we gonna have a table or anything set up? Do we have anything to?
I'm not gonna be there. I can be, I can. I wasn't planning on being available for it, but I can be there if nobody else is gonna be able to.
If you've got something booked, don't worry about it. Like, yeah, but we could, I mean, we could set something up. I can grab a table and canopy, and then I've got a
Mhm.
bunch of those frisbees still, and I got some stickers and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Myself a note, so don't send to one in the yard. Listen to it from my yard this time.
Right.
Stephen, I'm also still getting a lot of calls about people who want to table at concerts. I've just been directing them to the email, since that was what was recommended from last meeting.
Oh, okay.
But some people are saying that they're not getting replies.
I
They're
haven't-
still calling.
I have not received them because
Okay.
I don't think it ever really yeah, I'm not getting those.
Okay. Do you want to just send me some general instructions to give people then that are interested in
Yeah.
tabling?
And then yeah, if you can do that, then we'll reply because that's fine because it'd be like B City and
Yeah, I think the big one that's just kept calling me is PGE. Like they really want to put a table out there.
Well, it's a public park, so.
yeah.
I figured that was the case
You
too,
think that's
but they
not-
just keep calling me, so I.
As
figured
long
I'd
as yeah, as
ask
long
about
as there's not anything that's like
Yeah.
ideological or
Political, so-
divisive, anything
No,
like that.
It's
then-
just an informational table for
Yeah.
an upcoming project. So.
yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll show up a little bit early. And I mean, the gist of it is like, yeah, bring a table and a canopy and set up and I'll get out there early and find a place for them to
Okay.
Do you have any food people coming in?
not that I know of,
No, not Smashburger or anybody?
no.
Okay. You might check into seeing like the scouts or some of the younger groups would like to have a table next concert.
Okay.
To represent like the dance classes or whatever. Anything that's not controversial or political.
Yeah.
We still have chalk and stuff that kids could use to draw on the
Yeah, we have some we can.
sidewalk.
Yeah, we have some we can bring.
Yeah. Give the kids something to do.
Yeah.
I think the city has some yard games and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Maybe not this concert, but next concert I can bring the cornhole over and the kids can play cornhole.
Well, the city has a set,
Do they?
yeah, and then I was gonna build a set, and then with the change in the reimbursement thing. I'm still looking into that, I just haven't done it yet. That way we'd have our own set, but
I was gonna put mine online for $50, but if you guys want, if you wanted to buy, you can have it for 30. It's a U of O.
oh, man, that might be pretty controversial.
Yeah, that's the only reason I didn't do it. I'm gonna bring it to thing in August, but
Anything else on concerts for now? Yeah, and I'll have to follow up on getting those emails, so. And then, yeah, because I think that was started, but then the actual thing where I could receive them, I think it just. I had stopped hearing from that, like I never got like login info or anything like that,
Okay,
so.
I'll let Sadie know and she'll probably have By the Gig reach out to you, but
Okay.
I'll let her know.
And then, anything else on concerts for now?
No.
And so the next item, is actually kind of two things. They're both a garden location. Someone came in before and talked about, the idea of a community garden. Yeah,
we're at,
then so that's the whole thing, is like, the idea was floated. That, is there any park space that could be used to establish a community garden? We wouldn't run it or anything. It's another organization that would.
if it one of the newer parks or.
Well, that's what the discussion is that we need to have, is basically all they need is a location and like. Basically a recommendation from us on where to put it, and then and basically a connection to the city to get going on it to see if it's worth doing. But I think we need to figure out where it's needed the most. And last time she was here, we were talking about Campanella made the most sense. They have a lot of room, but it's also that most of the gardens, or sorry, most of the parks are in places where people have the yards big enough to have their own gardens.
Yes.
Campanella, most of those houses do not have room
it's
for
not
like a,
good For nothing.
yeah. So it actually kind of makes sense to put it there, but I don't know if it's
If we'll have a hassle with them.
well, I think what we need to do is just find out, like, if there's any kind of like survey or anything
Yeah.
that we can do, to ask people, like, where do you think we should put a community garden? We did that survey before, that's more of a general one. Community garden did not come up much in that. But,
Good place would be up there in Casadero, what do they call,
Isidore Heights
that's not Casadero High,
or Gardner or?
what is it, well, they took the sign down, Casadero, up there off of
Yeah.
Regan Hill.
Right, but yeah, that's, yeah, it
inside
could
of
be.
Yeah,
Because those backyards are just, that park is like just the backyards,
oh, I know.
yeah. And
Um,
that's kind of what I'm thinking, is basically if we do any kind of surveying,
well, we have 8 to 10 acres in Campanella's that is set aside for parks.
yeah,
It's just getting them in there. No, that would about, I mean, there's certain spots that off in the corner away from the gazebo, there's green space there, there's green space on the right-hand side of the. But would be good, it would have to be fenced and everything, and
yeah, I mean, if it was gonna be Campanella, I'd almost think that like the,
you have to go through HMO,
or HOA or whatever.
whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
HOA. Yeah, I wonder if you do, because it's park space, but also
Yeah.
you would, just for sunlight, the place that makes the most sense is the south end of that park.
Yeah,
So it's never sitting in shade. But before we even do that, I think we just need to find out, is this something people even want? you know.
Yeah, most of these people in town have their own garden spaces.
Yeah, and then that's why I'm thinking like, Cavalier Heights, that does make sense to have like a little garden there, but that would be like a neighborhood one, because that would really
Yeah.
be for the people there. If it's really a community garden where anyone can come in and feel comfortable grabbing a space and being able to plant their own stuff there, it would probably need to be a little more accessible and not.
Yeah,
feel
I'd have to have it where people can be there to keep an eye on it, so people don't go in and vandalize it too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, again, this is not anything that we would be maintaining or even doing.
No,
This is literally another person who wants to helm this whole thing and wants to organize it all, just looking for a place to do it.
Yeah, get it okay by the council,
Yeah,
everything.
Mhm.
and I think that, but the first step to that, I really think Campanella is like the only real option. If they've
Yeah.
got the room for it, and I think there might be a need there, but we should, you know, as we've learned, we should make sure that people actually
Want it.
want it
Yeah.
there. And
Well, eventually they're gonna have to let the park, we have, like I say, 8 to 10 acres there that belongs to the parks. And I know it wasn't, the real estate people, whoever sold them the houses didn't bring this into context. But it's still our property.
right. I'm trying to think, what is a good way to do it? Is this a survey thing? Is there a way of notifying people that this is something that we want to discuss with the
with
community?
Camp- Yeah, we
That
could,
like people could come to the next meeting and let us know what they think.
yeah, we could send a notice out and have them come and discuss, discuss it. Not like they did try to do with the skate park, just automatically say it's going there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you give them give them the initiative to say yes or no, we'll get farther
Yeah.
with them.
Right. Ally, do you know a good way to do that? Like, what would be a good way to just like reach people who live in Campanella to say, we want to hear we want you to,
Probably social media call outs. So
Yeah.
if you had like a general public poll, you could post it on like Instagram and Facebook and have it specifically call out for like, if you're in this area, we want to hear from you.
yeah,
But that way it has like a more community driven.
Could you put it in their water
Polling.
bill,
Yeah, we could always do that as well.
just Campanella?
yeah.
or-
I don't have a way to split them up.
Yeah.
So it's a whole batch. Like everybody who gets a water bill gets the same inserts.
Well, that might
But
be better
if
yet.
somebody wants to do like door hangers, that
Yeah.
could probably
Yeah.
work as well.
Yeah,
Um,
the water bill would do good because that would give other people in different areas, if they want to do it, they could step up to it.
because also, yeah, it is that's the thing, because it would be a community garden. It's really, you know,
It'd be easy to put a flyer in the water bill if that's
Okay.
something you guys want to work on.
yeah, is there a way? I don't even think we need a full flyer. I think that we're probably the best way to do it, to even like start on recommendation or getting a feel, is just putting a, you know, especially if I get the email, if I can start checking the email.
Yeah, if you want, you can always email Elena like a blurb or a call to
Yeah,
action.
just-
She'll put it in like our quarterly newsletter and then our e-newsletter that goes out. So if you just send something like that to her, then she'll insert it and it'll go out both in water bills sometimes, and that one gets emailed to people.
Okay, yeah, and there's not a rush, so if we need to wait until like a.
Yeah,
next
yeah.
newsletter
So
comes
however
out.
long it takes for you guys to make something up, then
Okay,
we can add it to a
Um,
schedule.
Yeah, the weather's gonna be pretty hot this summer, so. I'm having fun with my yard.
and on those same lines, we're talking with the Bee City people about doing flower gardens at the parks. I mean, I think it would
Hmm.
make sense, like, to do, like, Gardner seems like a really good one, like, kind of right off the bat.
Yeah,
Would be a good place to kind of like pilot that.
Yeah. As good as anything, really.
Yeah,
Do what?
so, B City.
Yeah,
So they want to, they were asking if they're looking for ways to partner with parks a little more to just, help with their initiative. And one of them is like tabling at the concerts, things like that. And then another one is setting aside a little bit of park space to plant wildflowers. Uh,
yeah, just, I'm kind of fanatic about that. Wildflowers, I have wildflowers too, but sometimes they get to be overwhelming.
well, but they would maintain them. They wouldn't just
They're
leave
pretty
it.
established.
Yeah. So, and
Yeah.
this is something they already do at some schools and stuff like that. And they're just looking for a few more places to put some plants and some pollinators.
Because
And-
we need to maintain the one by the creek a little bit. Because you can't really see the creek and, I mean, I have wildflowers in my yard too, and they get overwhelming. But the creek needs to be maintained a little bit more so you can actually see the creek and stuff. And I love the wildflowers, but sometimes they just look like weed patches.
Yeah, I think this is different than that.
Yeah, is
I
it?
think this is like a small, like you can probably go to the school and see what they've done there already.
Yeah, well, I have wildflowers in all my flower beds.
Yeah,
But today I had to start pulling them. They just got
yeah,
too
it sounds
much.
like they're looking more for like kind of like just like a small strip on like the
Yeah,
edge of an apartment, I think.
Yeah, you can get low growing wildflowers too. You don't
Yeah.
have to get the big bushes and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, and that's another one of those things too, where I think the first thing to do would just be to make a motion to recommend a place. And really, I think all they're looking for initially is just like a small spot to do it, and then they could have like a little, a day that they organize where people come out and
Yeah.
plant flowers. And then they already have like these maintenance days and weed
Yeah.
pulling days and things like that.
Well, along the back fence of the new park, behind the concert area and stuff, on that fence line would be a great place to put wildflowers.
Yeah.
Because it'd also cover the fences and stuff too. Yeah.
Do we have any opinions on the Gardner Park? Cause that one is just,
Oh,
it's
oh.
just
Yeah.
grass right now, there's just like
Forget
nothing
it, I
there.
keep forgetting about
Yeah.
that part. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can figure out where exactly the space is and we'll make sure it doesn't like interfere with anyone's property or anything like that.
I'd go on the back of them.
Yeah.
By that, so.
Yeah, I think really they're just looking to like, improve the distribution of
Yeah.
places that pollinators can
Yeah.
go.
I haven't been up to Gardner since I left the committee.
Really?
That's terrible. But, yeah, there's a lot of, good spots to do it.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good start. Recommending that spot and.
Yep.
I don't know if we need to do anything more specific.
Yeah,
on
I
that
think
spot.
we need to make just to the spot itself. I think
Yeah.
it's really a matter of like figuring out just where, yeah.
Like even if it's just along the
Yeah,
bushes on the south
That's
side.
what I was thinking too. It's kind of like the most out of the way. I mean, wildflowers are pretty, but I think we're the
even-
goal is really functionality, and health of
And
the
for,
pollinators.
yeah.
Or even along over here to where it's not right around where the kids are, like, yeah.
Yeah, well, so we
bees
don't
like that
want, we
aren't-
don't want a lot of bees around kids.
Yeah, you don't really have that. I mean, I know wildflowers at home, we have kids and
Yeah. They're not too bad, but
yeah, it's not like a big hive forms or.
I did
Yeah.
that one year in my old house and I had a big rock garden and I threw flowers out and I walked out to water and I had every bee you could name in my flowers. And my husband was allergic to bees. But, yeah, I think that would be really nice. You could also reach out to the Estacada Garden Club
Mhm.
and get some ideas from them too.
Yep.
I belong to it, but I never seem to make the meetings.
I would think just to simplify things, I would say like, and to highlight this, like, I'll make a motion to recommend a secluded space of Gardner Park to allow B City to install a wildflower garden.
They have to install the water too, the water, or is it
No, they-
sprinklers in there?
No, it's wildflowers, so.
Oh, okay,
Does anyone second?
second it.
All in favor?
I,
Uh, This used to happen in the background, but actually good reasons for students. I need to start bringing my reading glasses for this. We'll bring up our last couple items that you were mentioning, Shirley.
Okay.
yeah, we're in shorthand.
I know. Okay, do you want to bring up what,
I talked to you about.
yeah,
Okay, I hate to bring this at my first meeting, but my concerns are, okay, the dog park. Okay, the dog park's in there, but they took everything out of it, but they still have not put some kind of covering on that park. I know for one, I wouldn't run my dog on gravel. And my suggestions are either the chips that cover, like they use in the playground area, which are not splinters, the dogs can't get, and Gresham Dog Park uses them. Or maybe just plain sand. I mean, sand, most dogs that go to the beach love the sand. Playing the sand, it's easy cleanup. And sand couldn't cost that much. In fact, we probably have sand down at the city area because we keep sand around for when it snows and stuff. Okay, number two is is concerning dogs again. We need dog waste stations. We used to have a somewhat station up there by the bathrooms, but when they put the splash pad, they took it down and they never did put it back up. But we need a station there, and we need a station in the dog park itself. We do have a station in the new park. So other than that, and then as far as on the front, the meridian or the strip between the street and the sidewalk, that should be no more than 3 feet tall, so we can see in that park, especially at night. The bushes get too tall and you can't see in it. That was a specification when we first built that park. Those bushes were no more than 3 feet tall.
Mm.
Because you can't see in the skate park. And we did have an accident there weekend before last where a kid fell. If there hadn't been anybody around, they wouldn't have known. He broke his leg. The ambulance had to come and take him out of the park. So that needs to be more secure. And I don't know if you guys have lighting in there or not. I've never been over there late at night.
Not
We used to
really.
have lights, but
There's street lamps
Street
right near,
lights.
but there's nothing for
there's
the
no
park. I
lights in the
think.
back of the park.
yeah, but I think isn't it also like closed at night?
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be. This is at 10:30 at night
Well,
or
yeah.
later. They were in that park.
Take-
I know.
taking your life in your own hands.
Oh, I
going
know.
there that late.
They is, but the police are really good. If they come through there and they see the kids in the park, they chase them out. And Mendoza said that he would have them walk through the park every once in a while and talk to the kids. I know. I could say, what are those sirens? And I'm just thinking, oh God.
Uh, so yeah, we have two things here. One is two motions that we should make to
Yeah.
make recommendations to the city, which is one to
Cover on the dog park.
Yeah, so if you want to make that
Okay,
motion,
I make a motion that we put either chips or sand in the dog park. Because it's, instead of the gravel is not appropriate for dogs.
I worded it as dog friendly.
Yeah.
But I second.
Okay,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
And then if I can get another one for
Okay, I make a
cleanup
motion
stations. Yeah.
that we have dog stations in the dog park and up by the restrooms.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think that is everything.
I have one question. Do we have, I know we have talked about making the gravel pathway in the back of the, on the new park. Where do we stand there?
I don't know about that actually.
I asked about
Yeah.
that when we were at the opening of the splash pad. And I think they were getting bids or something for a couple different materials,
Yeah.
but that process
Um,
is ongoing, so.
I know we have a new, maintenance, park guy that's in charge of all the park maintenance, now.
Well, if there's nothing else, then I'll do the meeting.
Okay.